Grand Theft Auto 6 needs to fail is a trending sentiment that I've seen regarding this highly anticipated game. You know, this may even just be the most anticipated game of all time. Honestly, just hearing that statement alone, like, I kind of get it, and like, there's a part of me that, you know, kind of aligns with it, maybe just a little bit. I'm not necessarily actively rooting for this game's failure, but I understand why it is that people feel the way that they do regarding this game in particular. And it's multifaceted. There's many different reasons for why somebody might want to see Grand Theft Auto 6 completely just fail, just fall on its face, be the biggest monumental failure you have ever seen in all of gaming. Like, I kind of get it. And if you're looking at the title of this video and wondering why that is, well, this is going to be the video for you. I'm going to go ahead and dig into some of the different reasons why people want to see this game be just this catastrophic failure, because I think it's an interesting topic. I'm not necessarily too deeply invested myself into whether or not GTA 6 fails, but again, I think that there's some interesting reasoning to kind of just like dive into and go over. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. But before we jump into all of that, if you could hit that like button and subscribe if you're new, helps the channel. I'm trying to do some more topical content, trying to release things a little more frequently, trying to have more of a consistent release cadence of content. So hitting that like button and subscribe button, it helps. Thank you. So like I said, the reasons for why people want to see this game fail, it's kind of multifaceted. There's a good number of reasons for why. And like I said, some of it I definitely agree with and kind of align with a little bit, because like I can see the sentiment behind it and I agree with the sentiment. I don't think this game is going to be a failure, though. Like, obviously, I think GTA 6 is going to come out and probably be one of the biggest success stories in all of gaming. And it's going to have a ripple effect, you know? And not necessarily a good one. But I guess I'll just take it from the top. I mean, okay, so, like, obviously this game is it's huge, man! People are talking about it all over the place. You know, you go into any comment section, anywhere, really, and you're going to see people making the same kind of joke. We got such and such thing before GTA 6. It's a cultural phenomenon, you know? There's not a whole lot of media, whether it's gaming or otherwise, that kind of just unites people these days. You know, everybody's kind of set in their own little corners and pockets of interests and all that sort of stuff. There's not a whole lot that just unites people. GTA is one of those things, though, that is, it's like everybody from all kinds of corners and backgrounds, they're waiting on this game to see what's gonna happen. It expands far beyond the scope of just gaming. You could be standing by the water cooler at the office, you know, talking to Joe Schmo, who only plays Call of Duty and Madden. But even he knows a little bit about Grand Theft Auto 6, and he's looking forward to playing it in November this year, you know what I'm talking about? So it's for that reason. That's kind of one of the big reasons that people just want to see this thing fail, you know? It's such a huge game. It's being called the biggest game ever, and it's been called that for years now. And, you know, whenever something gets that much attention, there's people that are inevitably going to start rooting against it because, like, well, I mean, either they're tired of hearing about it, they just want to see a Titan crumble, you know what I mean? It's hard to look away from a train wreck. You want to sit there and watch that dumpster fire. You want to pull up a lawn chair and just kick back with a beer in your hand and watch it all go up in smoke, you know what I'm talking about? Just look at Concord, you know, that was one of the biggest, not only one of the biggest failures in gaming from last year, but actually quite possibly one of the biggest gaming failures of all time. Sony poured massive bucks into that game just to make basically a knockoff Overwatch, a worse looking, worse playing Overwatch. Hundreds of millions of dollars down the drain. It was just focus tested, boardroom approved, live service slop. I know slop gets used a lot, but like, man, what? It's very fitting. Speaking of live services and massive failures, that kind of leads me into another reason of why people want to see GTA just fall flat on its face. Grand Theft Auto 5 has been the GTA game to play for the last decade plus. And really that comes down to the company's focus on GTA Online. I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb here by saying that GTA Online is absolutely the reason we have not seen a Grand Theft Auto game in the past, what is it, 13 years, I think? Just re-releases of GTA and continued massive expansions to GTA Online. and just monetizing the fuck out of it. It has made them an ungodly amount of money. And so there's frustration from fans of Rockstar and GTA because it's like, wow, you know, this thing, this GTA Online, it's kind of a symbol for why we haven't seen a new GTA in a long time, and there's just kind of a fear around it that the company is once again going to prioritize online monetization for this new GTA game. And like, I think it's very, very possible that this might be the last GTA that we ever see. You're paying $80. You're paying $80 at minimum, by the way, and I'll dig into that here in just a moment, for this single-player campaign for GTA 6. It's very interesting that Rockstar has been pretty hush-hush regarding any kind of online functionality. As a matter of fact, they're kind of advertising GTA 6 as just this single-player focused experience. That's very interesting to me because obviously they're going to want to monetize the fuck out of this thing, which they're already kind of dipping their toes into it a little bit. Again, I'm going to get into that, but I just find it interesting that there's no mention of online anywhere yet, especially considering the game's budget, which is reportedly over $1 billion. It's easily the most insane budget we have ever seen for a video game. GTA Online was just included with GTA 5. It came out, I think, around 2 weeks after GTA 5 launched. And I remember this because, you know, I bought GTA 5 at launch and played the campaign, but I was really waiting for the online because I wanted to get on and play with some buddies, and it wasn't available at launch. Again, seems like something similar is happening here with GTA 6, but my suspicion around that is you're not gonna get GTA Online as just a little bonus add-on for GTA 6 this time around. More than likely, this is going to be an entirely separate transaction. I wouldn't be surprised if GTA 6 just costs the full price of a whole entire brand new game. It might be an extra $60 to $80 or more, depending on which kind of edition that you go ahead and buy for the damn thing. Which I will say, I think to an extent is understandable considering the amount of budget that's being poured into this thing. What I do not like about the GTA 6 situation is the fact that they are holding bits of content and features behind an more expensive edition of the game. Basic features like body shops and like tattoo shops and just, you know, customization, stuff like that is being locked behind this $100 version of the game. And like, this isn't stuff that they would ordinarily hold hostage in the past. So that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks to see, especially when you know the online. I fully expect GTA 6's online eventually to be absolutely riddled with insane microtransactions. It's not. Is microtransactions even the word to use these days? You know, when microtransactions started, I'm going on a whole separate tangent here. When microtransactions began, they were called that because they were microtransactions. You know, a nickel and dime here and there. You know, a buck or two. You gotta pay like $20 for a single skin in Fortnite now. That's not microtransactions anymore. You can get the $40 skin pack bundle in fucking Overwatch. Actually, it's not even a bundle. There was a skin for Roadhog that I was interested in getting. $40 for that thing. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on anymore? Anyway, I'm getting off on a whole separate thing. So there is just sort of, I don't know, kind of an air of ick, an ickiness kind of around GTA 6 and just knowing how it's going to absolutely try to take advantage of its player base. Again, to an extent, it's almost kind of a little bit warranted, at the very least when it comes to the multiplayer side of things, even though they're going to go way overboard with it. I'm not trying to say that like I want them to charge out the ass for things. That's definitely not the case at all. But like, you know, to keep a live service moving, it makes sense that they're going to charge for things like that, obviously. But that's also kind of, again, another reason why people are interested in watching this whole thing come down, this house of cards just completely crumble. This game, in a way, has become kind of a symbol. It's emblematic of all of the things that we consider to be wrong with the gaming industry nowadays, that people like me are just sick and tired of seeing get ham-fisted into every single experience and ruin all kinds of AAA games. Not even necessarily just AAA. I mean, we see these things trickle down into all the other kinds of games that we want to play and experience. So yeah, I'm talking like extremely long development cycles. That's one factor. Massive budgets and consolidation. People are worried that, you know, with GTA 6 costing such an enormous amount to develop that, you know, only a handful of companies can afford games of that kind of scale, and that, you know, that may cause publishers to become even more risk averse over time. Can't even say over time. I mean, this game's gonna come out and blow everything just out of the water, and again, it's gonna have a ripple effect. So I think the heart of it, at least for a lot of gamers especially, you know, we look at this game, we see the things that it's doing, it's emblematic of so much that is just completely wrong with the game industry. And we're hoping, maybe unrealistically, that this game would be such a unique, massive failure that there may even be some kind of gaming crash to come from it, which I know a lot of people like to point to the crash, the video game crash of the 80s, and like, we're never gonna experience anything quite like that again. If we have another gaming crash, it's gonna be something very unique and completely different. To an extent, we already are kind of witnessing this to a certain degree, you know what I mean? We're basically in the midst of it right now. AAA gaming is becoming completely unsustainable. The push for power and more hyper-realistic graphics and high fidelity, just all kinds of things, all the bells and whistles, with rising costs in terms of components and the cost of living and all that kind of stuff. These companies can no longer afford to put out games of such an insanely massive scale and not make a profit off of them. Hell, even if a game comes out and is a success story, that may not even still be enough for them to retain the people who made these games a reality in the first place, and so they're being let go. Studios are shuddering under the weight of these gargantuan budgets. So I think the hope is that a game like GTA, with its $1 billion+ budget, could be such a massive failure that it would put off companies from trying to chase that goose, you know, to bring things back down to a more realistic place where we can have games at a more consistent pace, of a more consistent quality, that aren't necessarily these super insanely budgeted experiences, basically. Essentially, you know, we're wanting to see publishers have to rethink the trends that they're chasing and go back to being like for the gamer, putting out the kinds of games that we remember and that, you know, made us gamers in the first place. As much as I love the sentiment, as much as I love the idea of these companies going back to just focusing on making good games, I think it's only going to be a slippier slope as time goes on. I mean, we are in the era of nickel and diming the shit out of the existing gaming audience that these companies have. I talked about it in another video recently where it's no longer necessarily about making the biggest and best product and then bringing in a whole new set of eyes and audiences just from making good games. It's about nickel and diming the shit out of the existing audience. That's just where we're at, and unfortunately I don't see that changing anytime soon, especially with the release of GTA. This game, again, it's going to be massive. Even if this game comes out and somehow it's not good, which, hey, that is a totally real possibility. Maybe this game comes out and is a stinker. It's had like at least, I don't know, a 10-year development cycle? Maybe more? Games with very extended development cycles tend to get, I don't know, things become a little more hazy when it comes to the actual release of those things then. But again, even if it comes out and it's a stinker, I think that's just going to be, you know, it might be just a little bump in the road for GTA. I hate to paint such a bleak picture, you know? Like, again, there's sentiments here that I completely sympathize with and I even agree with to an extent. It's just that There's no way that this game comes out and fails. I just don't see it. It's gonna be huge. It's going to be massive. It's going to be the thing to look out for. Which I guess in a way is another reason that people don't want this game to succeed, because it's gonna come out, it's gonna overshadow a lot of other games that maybe they want to see, you know, come out and be successful. These different game companies, they do not dare set foot into November. They're releasing their games around GTA 6. Funny enough, the only game that I'm aware of coming out in November that's feeling like going toe-to-toe with GTA is Godzilla. That's pretty cool. I'm actually kind of interested in that game. I had that game growing up, and now they're doing a remake, so that's kind of neat. But anyway, these are just some of the reasons that I think that people are rooting for the failure, the absolute demolition of GTA 6. I haven't even decided if I'm gonna pick this one up yet. It's a game that I would have picked up a physical copy of, but well, turns out you're only getting a code in the box, which, hey, that's another reason. That's another reason people don't like it. I think we're gonna kind of look back on GTA 6 and see it as a turning point. It's going to be a symbol when we look back in the months and years to come for just where the gaming industry has completely lost its sense. In a way, that's kind of why I still stick to Nintendo. I know it's like getting out here and glazing Nintendo is probably not the move. I'm not trying to glaze them, but, you know, for all their faults, for all their fuck-ups and bullshittery, you know, which they have a lot of, don't get me wrong, that's Nintendo for you. They still have an emphasis on just making fun games, putting gameplay at the forefront, and not getting lost in the live service sauce that the rest of the industry seems to be chasing so hard. They want that next golden goose so bad, but that's the thing, man. Those things are rare, and you're going up against titans of the industry by doing that right now. Games like Fortnite and Overwatch and hell, even GTA Online, those are really hard to peel people away from when they've been going on for so long, and people have so much time and money invested and tied up into those games. And now GTA 6 is going to come out and be the next one. So, I don't know. It is what it is. What do you think? What do you guys think about GTA 6? Do you want to see it be a big floppy failure? That's probably not even a good question. It probably sucks. If there's anything that I didn't tackle regarding this subject and, you know, you feel you gotta get out there, then let me know in the comments below. I think there's an interesting conversation to be had around this game. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.